Uh, Hello, live audience.
Hello.
Quick disclaimer: the last live stream was interrupted,
Yep.
so we decided to keep what we have in our audio file.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear the complete thing, go down to our Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, everything.
SoundCloud.com/
Wait,
concessions and confessions.
maybe you didn't hear me because I wasn't talking to my mic. But
Maybe they can't hear us. We should probably be recording.
all right, well, you cut this. Oh wait, no, that's playing.
I think if you just, I think you just hit. Oh wait,
No,
no,
you have
you have to.
yeah, I need to.
Click at the end of that.
Yes. Okay. Sorry for the mistakes. I think you're hearing me now. Basically, our first live stream was interrupted, but our audio files is pretty good. What we had, we
Yeah.
promise. So if you want to hear the complete thing, people on YouTube, you gotta have to go to Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, pretty much anywhere for your podcasts to listen to our whole review. So we're
Yep.
just gonna keep on going. Steven will fix this in post because he's a master in audio editing.
I'm okay, but okay. So we were talking about the
So
logic for the
yeah,
people.
the logic in the movie, you can't think too much about it, but you can also not think about it. So that
Yeah.
makes it a tricky movie. I feel like Jordan Peele, or maybe the studio. I'm not completely sure because this also happens in Get Out where you're spoon fed a lot of stuff. Like I don't know if it's because the filmmaker wants the widest possible audience to understand his movie. Like he's afraid of being misunderstood. Like that's something I also get out of like Christopher Nolan, like how everything must be like spoon fed to you, like the themes and the morals and everything. Um, that just shows insecurity on being misunderstood in my opinion. So, but I don't know if that's because the studio wants those like spoon fed kind of moments, and that's where the editing I was talking about that kind of comes in. Like we could have like we'll talk about it as we get into spoilers
Yeah.
probably fairly quickly.
Yeah.
You got anything else to say? Like, what would you like to talk about? Let's
Like
still like
for
spoiler
not
free.
non-spoiler stuff, spoiler free. I think the sound design in this movie, like the going back to sound and audio, there's some really interesting stuff they do. With they
Some
give.
stuff is very visceral,
I like the
honestly.
way they give the scissors weight.
Well,
They feel heavy, like
yes, but it also upsets me that like every other movie, like every time they move the scissors around, it makes a little sound.
I'm okay with
Scissors
it.
don't make that sound in real life. Like I don't know, but I guess that's movie logic and it's fine. But
Yeah,
some of the like, you could hear some people choking on their own blood, and it was really disturbing
really,
slash disgusting. And I thought that was really good.
really well
Uh,
done.
but going on from audio and sound, the soundtrack could be annoying at times. I found like I'm not the biggest fan.
Yeah,
Like okay, I was really grateful. Get Out had a lot of like jump scare noises. I don't know if you remember that.
kind of.
Like
Yeah,
a lot. Like so like it was annoying. Here, I think I can only remember like two that were like straight up noises and not like music
yeah.
or just diegetic sound. Uh, so I appreciated that, but like yeah, the soundtrack, I guess like the opening, uh, like the title,
I'm
opening
not a
title,
fan of the
like
how
the
loud
music
it
it sounds
is.
like a bunch of anime. It reminded me of like Ghost in the Shell or Madoka Magica. Like it was kind of weird. Like I think that's why I enjoyed it, but I also think the reason why I enjoyed the opening credits is the font and color that they chose for
Very,
everything.
very
It
well
was
done.
like it reminded me of like John Carpenter
Perfect.
movies and a lot of like horror classics.
Yeah,
So it was
100%.
just like,
I
oh, it looked just
even had like
perfect.
the fuzz of
Yeah,
like
even it
like
was like yeah, it was really
just
good.
whatever like
So maybe that's why I gave that music a pass because the opening credits were really stylized.
yeah. I'm not gonna
Uh,
lie. I felt that the opening credits could have been like 1 full minute faster. I felt like it was kind of a
it
long.
lasts a minute.
It was not a minute. It was
It,
it was like at least probably two or three.
I don't think so.
Okay, well if it wasn't, it should be half as long as it is. It's very long. Like
But
I don't know.
I think it sets the pace for the movie because this is not a quick paced movie. Like I guess this is also criticism. At time, I will admit, I was looking at my watch. Like I even asked you because this
Yeah,
was your second time watching this. Hey, how much longer has this got?
it's like another
Because I was
30
like,
minutes or something like that.
yeah. So at time, like it takes a while for the actual doppelgangers to show up.
I would say at least 25 minutes,
I want to say
maybe.
more.
It could be more. I feel like it's
Because
probably around
even
half an
like the
hour.
little prologue
Yeah,
with our main character as a
yeah.
child, like
She
that's
just
straight up five
drops an
minutes.
apple, and this spoiler alert, she drops a candied apple.
That's a sin.
Just dropping it on the
Hmm.
ground. Just dropping it in the
That's
sand.
why what happens to her happens to her.
Yeah,
But if you want to know that, you either gotta watch this movie or watch our spoiler section.
yeah. Which, you know what? Let's just get into
Just
spoilers.
just get into
Get
spoilers.
in and do it. All right.
Uh,
I mean, I guess the
so
biggest
the doppelgangers are actually a government experiment
we don't
that failed
know.
like 20 years ago. We don't really know
We
the
don't even know if
timeline.
it's a government experiment. We
No,
just
it is
know.
a government experiment.
Are we sure about that?
I'm pretty sure they name dropped the government once wanted to control the people in the surface.
No, 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 no,
No,
no.
I'm pretty sure they
She didn't
did.
say the government. She said they wanted. Like she just said they wanted to control them, like puppets.
But I
But
mean,
they leave everything
but
like
the
that
idea
kind of
was
vague.
planted with the when the daughter was saying like, there's fluoride in the ocean, so the government will control you.
Okay, no, I get
So
that. I
like,
get that. It's
I'm
probably
pretty,
the government.
I'm, it's the government.
It's we
It's the government.
honestly the reason why I don't even know why I'm arguing like the devil's advocate for it's not the government because the like logistics for what
It
they
makes no
have in
sense.
place it's just like it can
Nonsensical.
only be like the government and who's paying the energy like the electric bill who's changing
Yeah.
the light bulbs and like if like a freaking light bulb goes out
Where
somebody
they
come and
get
fix
those
it.
jumpsuits
Where
from?
do they get the jumpsuits, the gloves, all the
Every
scissors?
so many freaking shackles. They had so many handcuffs. Like what? What's up with that?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like they had like at least four different pairs of freaking uh handcuffs.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
There's only one pair of handcuffs in the entire
No.
movie.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Oh.
you know how I can tell you?
Uh.
It's the handcuffs that she handcuffed the original girl to the bed.
Uh-huh.
That's the handcuffs she used to handcuff her to the table.
Okay.
It's the same pair of handcuffs the entire
And what
movie.
about when she's in Elizabeth's
She was
bus?
still wearing them the entire time. She never got it off her hand. The entire movie she has like
So
it's
it's
just
just one pair of handcuffs.
but still, how did they get those handcuffs? Where did they get them? Who gave them handcuffs? Like
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
understand. Also the rabbits. Who's feeding the rabbits? Cuz those are fat rabbits.
Yeah, the pretty cute rabbits as well.
There's rabbits like
Uh,
okay, that's their food. The tethered's
yeah,
food
they
is
eat like
rabbits.
raw rabbits. But
No,
like,
yeah.
okay, if this is a place, we're just nitpicking, and I hate that.
No, no, no,
But
no, no,
like,
no, no, no. We're nitpicking because the movie demands you
to believe
to
this,
believe it, and it's not believable in the slightest.
yeah, like you think that if they have to torn the rabbits and like to eat them and take away the fur and all that, like this place would be a mess. It'd be like rabbit fur and skin and
Yeah.
bones everywhere. It's such a clean
Do
basement.
they? Why do all of them like? How do they have haircuts? Is that where they got the
Is
scissors?
that where they got the scissor from?
Is somebody giving them haircuts?
Maybe themselves, I guess.
But do they even know how to give it? There's a thing in the movie where it's free real estate guy. I don't know his name. He's one of the Tim and Eric
Uh-huh.
guys. He does his doppelganger kills him like the
Uh-huh.
actual version. But his doppelganger does a joke like
Look,
psych like his
yeah,
hand
he
to
offers
his
a hand, but then
he
like combs
brushes
his
his hair.
hair.
It's like a
Like,
very
psych.
yeah like a very kind of just
I
like.
mean, well,
But I don't get how they know that
so the
joke.
thing is, well, here's I guess my theory, but like again, the fact that we have to think so much to explain like tiny details like
Yeah.
this, it means that this movie doesn't offer like it offers too much and too little at the same time, in my opinion. We'll get to
I think
that.
it offers like
But like, okay,
it's yeah
so in the movie logic, they cloned the bodies, but they could not clone the souls. So both the original body and the doppelganger share a soul. So maybe that's why some of the doppelgangers kind of act like their originals. But uh, I mean,
Elizabeth Olsen's one doesn't really act like her. She like cuts her
Elizabeth
face.
Olsen or Elizabeth Moss.
Uh,
Also known as Scarlet Witch. Moss is from Handmaid's Tale.
that one, whatever. Elizabeth, not Scarlet Witch. The other Elizabeth. She like I don't know. She does this thing if she
She
like
cuts
cuts her,
herself for
but I
no
don't know why
reason.
she cuts herself.
But okay, let's.
There's just like weird moments in the movie that like I don't
Well, I
know
mean, they're
like
disturbing most of the time, but sometimes they're just
but they're
like
just
for no
not
fun.
okay. Like, is it okay? This is another like argument with horror movies. It's something disturbing because it's not logical or you can't understand it. Like, does that make it more terrifying or less terrifying? I think it's some certain since
It
some scenarios it
depends. It
makes it more.
depends.
Yeah, like I think it depends. In this
But
movie, I was
but
just confused.
here, yeah, it was weird. I want to move on. Let's
It's so hard to
maybe we'll
it's
go
hard
back to
to
the
move away
nitpicking
from
in
the
a little
logic
bit.
because
Yeah,
this the logic is okay.
it's kind of
Realistically,
like the deal breaker.
it's the only thing I think I really have like a major issue with, like a huge issue with. Like it's the real reason why I didn't like the movie at all in the beginning. Like in the first time I saw this movie, it's just willing to believe this movie. Like all the things that have to happen, it's just a lot, and it doesn't even. It doesn't seem. It's so illogical. Like it just doesn't.
Hmm.
None of it tracks. Like I was thinking, like, what if somebody flies across the country? What do they do? Like, do they? What does a little tethered person do? Do they just like stand in a wall where like that direction is, or like do they like walk around? Do the tunnels actually go all the way that far across the country?
I feel like it doesn't matter really, but it's like this is the kind of movie that just makes you question its own logic, and doesn't. I don't know. It's
For
just
me, it was too much to. I think it was too much to be
suspension
able.
of disbelief, I
It's just so
guess.
hard. Like I don't know why. Like it's just too much. It's too much going on. There's too many people involved for them to even be alive. And also like you get into like the kids. Like how do the kids make any sense? Like having kids or
Oh no,
whatever.
it
You
doesn't
know.
make sense to them
Like
having kings. Like like if the originals had kids, it makes no sense for the doppelganger couple to have kids that look just like the original kids because I mean
okay.
that's not how
It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense if you think about
they're
it at all.
identical.
Yes, identical, and they're the exact same age, the exact same time. Like just
Like
be,
I guess it's like the explanation of the soul, like the doppelganger where she first introduces herself as the shadow says that I was forced to have a girl, but like who forced you? Like was it like
the thing
some
is,
kind of like Virgin Mary insemination? Like do doppelgangers have
so
sex? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
okay, you
Let's
know how
move
like
on.
they're walking on top, and how in the scene where you kind of like see what the tethered are like below,
Uh huh.
they're like sort of doing the same things.
Yeah,
I'm thinking whenever they were having sex,
the
like
doppelgangers were forced to
yeah,
also.
like but I don't know what's causing them to be bound, and like so I don't understand how whenever the tethered are up
They're
in
not bound.
yeah, I don't get it. In like, but they are because
But they are because
the little
Well,
boy,
I think they
because
were just. I think the little boy and his doppelganger just. They were kind
they're
of
doing a
buddies.
bit.
I don't know.
But like, what's the bit? He kills him. Like he
Yeah.
makes him walk in the fire. I
Okay.
don't
I want to
understand.
move on to something else
It's just
that's
so
not
much, so
logic.
much.
Something that's not logic. The comedy. I was not a fan of the comedy in this movie.
Awful.
I thought it reminded me a lot of Marvel humor, where like you have a
It was
serious moment
worse.
and it's completely undercut by just something
There's so
an
yeah.
attempt at comedy that it's not really enjoyable.
I think it's the
I laughed.
timing though for a lot of the jokes
The
that makes
timing
them
is off,
really bad because there's
and
like tense
even
moments that
some of
just
the jokes don't make sense. Like the girl at
undercut
one
'em.
moment says, "Like, what's Home Alone?" Like, you really do not know what Home Alone is.
I get the
Like,
what did she say? Mighty Machines or something. What did she say?
I don't remember that.
Like she said like the machines that Macaulay Culkin uses in Home Alone, and then like
Uh,
the little boy said what
Micro
machines?
Machines,
Micro machines, and the little boy said what machines?
and she's like, "What's Home Alone?"
I was like, I what? Like I get the Mighty Machines because like
Yeah,
nobody
yeah.
plays with toys like that anymore. But like Home Alone, come on guys. And
Everybody knows that movie.
there's a point in the movie where Elizabeth Moss
Uh-huh.
she says to Lupita Nyong'o's character, like she's talking about her Botox. She's like, "But you don't need Botox because you're beautiful or whatever." Whore, like she just says whore, and it's so weird because that word is kind of far away from the rest of her
Uh-huh.
sentence, and nobody in the theater laughed this time. The first time I saw it, I heard people go, "Oh, what?"
What?
Like
Yeah.
and I was very confused. I was like,
I didn't even understand what she said. Like it just like
I don't
it
know
was
why
just
she said
weird.
whore. Like it's just because it doesn't land. And that one did the best joke in the movie though
Uh huh.
is a joke about
Let's not ruin it. Let's not ruin
yeah,
it.
it's
But
just
it's a good joke, I guess.
it's
And the
not in a
timing
scary
is
time because I think that's why it works. It's like
the
it's kind
timing
of in
is just
a
right.
it's it's kind
And
of
it's in character as well. Like
it is,
I
you know.
I feel like I, by this point of the movie, like the Home Alone line,
Yeah,
like this family, like at least each of them, I think maybe not the mother, has killed a doppelganger in a brutal way. So it's like
yeah.
it's not the time for jokes, you know,
No, no,
like right now it's
yeah.
kill or be killed.
But
So I don't know, it
their
was just kind
humor
of
makes
toned
it
down.
feel like it isn't, which kind of bothers me because so there's
Like
like
it's
a
almost like, oh, it's a game, yeah.
yeah, like I don't know what they're going for in terms of like because they're killing these tethered like and they're not phased by it at all. Like they're killing things that aren't even real, you know, like they're not even they like I know if I kill the tethered, you
Oh, I'll
know,
be so
I would be
upset.
devastated because
Especially
it's
the girl, like
me.
she basically kills a theater by beating the hell out of her with a golf club,
There's
like
a thing with that
so
where she's like
repeatedly.
stabbing the girl with the like the
Yeah,
rubber part
yeah.
of the golf club.
I
The
don't think
time
that
like
would work.
stabs.
Okay,
I
yeah.
too many there's too much nitpicking, but
Too
whatever.
much logic.
I get that you could
Let's
like
not.
jab somebody with it. That's fine, whatever. But she like brutally murders a girl, like
And she's fine by like the
completely
next
fine.
scene.
They're all making jokes. They're all fine. You know, it's just like, and she sees herself. She kills herself. Like her
Yeah, runs.
doppelganger jumps on the car, and like there's this whole like struggle, and then she slams on the brakes, and that doesn't even work the first time. Then she just does it again. They're on some incredibly flat straight road where
Yeah.
she can go like 80 miles an hour down or whatever. It's fine.
So these are the
I don't know.
sharpest, strongest pairs of Caesars of all time. Like they can go through
Exactly.
crystal and like everything and still hold on. Like I don't know.
They
It's
could.
just like
There's a thing I don't know if you noticed it in the two doppelgangers of or no
the
Lupita
twins.
Nyong'o and
Okay.
her doppelganger are fighting in the end of the movie, and like at one point Lupita Nyong'o has like a something that you like stoke a fire with. That's what she's using.
Crowbar?
No, it's not a
No.
crowbar. It's like
Oh no, it's not a
you
crowbar.
just kind of poke the fire with it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it is called a fire poke. I don't know, but she like samurai sword slices down, and Lupita Nyong'o's doppelganger pulls out the scissors and like
And
opens them
holds it.
and stops the thing with the scissors. And I was like, what? And then
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
like just like using it as a knife. Like the scissors are just kind of like the way you would have a scissors closed, and you can't really like cut people with that. Like
Hmm.
you can kind of, but like the blades are kind of not the sharp part. She's just like she does like a stab.
Yeah,
Like
it's like
the
a
fighting
knife
is super
somehow.
weird. How do they know how to fight? I don't understand. Like
No, let's stop questioning the
oh
logic.
my god, that one knows
Quick
how to.
reminder: the cinematography is great. The acting, we haven't even talked about the acting. I think
Okay,
Lupita Nyong'o does an amazing job as both the mother and the
I think
doppelganger.
yeah, she
Like,
is okay.
there's so much going on, and like the emotions. Okay, except in the
Yeah,
comedic moments,
yeah.
the emotions are always right.
I
They're always in
think
the right place.
this is why
But I'm
this
not the
movie is
biggest
so
fan of
hard.
the dad.
Oh no, I don't think the dad was. I don't think he was
He was
serviceable.
fine.
I don't think he's gonna win any awards. Lupita Nyong'o, I thought was really good
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this
yeah.
movie.
She's gonna.
Should probably get nominated. I
I
think.
mean, I don't know. Maybe
I
it
mean,
was a really like
I
both
thought the little
performances were
boy
really
was
good.
better as Pluto, as the
As the
doppelganger, than he was
doppelganger.
as just the regular little boy. If I'm being perfectly
Yeah,
honest.
yeah, yeah.
And the other,
But I mean, we don't even know how much of the time, because he's wearing a mask, how much of the time he's actually the little boy, and how
you're
much of the
correct.
time it's just a stunt double doing the whole animalistic
It
movement.
would be so annoying to walk that way.
Oh yeah,
Like it must hurt that poor actor or stunt double's
yeah,
back.
definitely.
I don't know, but like I think this is the reason why this movie bothers me so much is because like everything, but like the logic
Uh huh.
and like the actual like the under like the premise of the
The
movie.
structure I think is fine. Maybe the pacing goes off like a little bit.
I think it
Like
starts very slowly.
I like the slow start, but like there's the part where it picks up and then it drags down again.
It
Like I don't know. It's
the like the spoiler like the scene you see in the trailer where the little boy says it's us or whatever
mhm.
like
That's like 40 minutes into the movie.
it
45
is
maybe.
and that scene just takes away so much tension like the because it's just a scene about exposition and then they're like okay now you can go try to kill each other and then they're just like the Lupita Nyong'o's doppelganger. I think her name is Red.
Oh really?
I think that's her name, and
Oh,
then like her name is like Ap, Al something Adelaide or something like that. I think her
I
name is
forgot the
Adelaide.
names.
Okay, either way, Red is the doppelganger. Red is like she just like does her sounds or like her like claps and like whatever to like make the other doppelgangers of the family go try to kill those family members. But the thing is like if her goal, which she says, I couldn't just kill you, I had to like
Toy with you,
like
like so you know
yeah
how it feels like to
yeah,
be.
she could have just like
Yeah,
she could have really just killed them.
all of
Like
them. Yeah, I
that
mean,
there's like
but otherwise
moments.
you don't have a movie. Like that's the horror element of it. Like more logic thrown out the window, but like that
But like
kind of comes
even
with the genre.
I think possibly the worst one is the dad's doppelganger. The dad's doppelganger, for whatever reason, pulls him out onto a boat, puts him in a trash bag. Like, what is the plan there?
Yeah,
He had scissors, and you think he pulls him out like he's gonna do something with them, and then
no,
he
he
doesn't do
just
anything. He just punches
no.
him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. The dad should have been dead like
Well, it's just that
a
like the
couple of times.
doppelganger, the doppelganger
The
also loved the
doppelganger.
boats. So it's like, oh, I gotta, it's my time to ride the boat. There's a bunch of like boat jokes in this movie.
But I don't know if the doppelganger really felt the need for the boat because
No, no,
like
let's stop questioning the
it's
logic.
too hard
It's
not
too
to.
hard, but like
It's
you
literally
gotta
wrapped
remind
in this.
yourself.
It's the whole
Uh,
movie. It is the movie. Like that. I think that's possibly why it's just the movie kind of inevitably is. It's just too much for me, and I think it's because I think about movies a lot, like the logic behind certain things. Like if I'm willing to believe something, like and a lot of the time when I see like a superhero movie, I'm just willing to believe it because I know it's a superhero movie. Like I know there's probably gonna be superpowers and like other crazy things, and like I'm just like, oh wow, cool, a new superpower or like like a new thing. But I don't know. It's just this movie. I felt like I I wasn't prepared for this kind of suspension of disbelief.
mhm.
Like I it's just too much, and like it sucks because I think the cinematography is great. I think the acting is great. I think the music is good, but I feel like at times I think I would have liked it to be a little bit quieter or a little bit
I think
like there's a
when the
part where Lupita Nyong'o is walking in the hall, like when she's in the like the rabbit area,
mhm,
and like there's a sound, or I think it's part of the score, and it sounds like screaming, but
mhm.
it's just music.
Yeah,
Like, and that the first time I saw it, it bothered me. The second time I saw it, it bothered me more because I was like, okay, weird. Like,
yeah, yeah.
this is kind
It's
of
telling you to be scared.
yeah. And
Like
there's a lot of instances of like that in this movie where the music is very like telling you how to feel, and I think they could have been scarier if it was just a little bit quieter. Like there was
sure.
less music in this
Yeah,
movie. I
yeah.
think it would be
I always
more
think that
tense.
with horror, usually less is more. Like
Yeah.
always, always. Uh, I actually want to go back to the like the whole like why I think I'm not sure how much was like Jordan Peele wanted to be understood by every audience member or just studio notes trying to like I don't want to say dumb it down, but like make it more clear. Uh, like say shots like okay in the prologue when the girl is like walking around looking at all the people at the boardwalk.
Yeah.
Later, when we see the doppelganger,
Yeah.
and she's also looking around, looking at other people in the basement, and in the cut we see in the movie, the intercut, so you see
Yeah.
that they're the same. It's doppelganger. That
Did you notice the error?
whatever.
They're the couple or the guy and the girl like playing rock paper
Uh
scissors.
huh.
They're in like the real world. They're on the left, like on a wall leaning on the left side, and then in the movie they're
They're
on
on
the
the
right
right.
side, and they're
Yeah,
cut like right next to each other. But everything else in the
yeah,
movie
yeah.
is the
But like
side that
a
it's
part
on.
of me thinks that it would have been more rewarding if it was an intercut. Like if it just played for okay in the beginning,
Oh, I completely agree. Actually,
it
yeah,
plays from the perspective of the original. In the ending, it plays from the perspective of the doppelganger.
yeah,
And that way, like on a second viewing, you noticing that
yeah,
oh, it's the same actors, it's the same things. Like it would have made it more rewarding. Like that's the kind of like film brain food that I'm looking for usually. And there's a lot of moments or opportunities in this movie that didn't take place, like some stylistic choices. I guess the biggest spoiler is that the Lupita Nyong'o character, like the one in the surface, is actually a doppelganger. Like from the beginning, we don't get to see, but it turns out that she, like the doppelganger, the original doppelganger, I guess, naps the original
Yeah.
girl, and they switch places, and she learns to talk once she takes over the life of the
Yeah.
original girl. So that's the big twist.
Can
But
I
I
say
also
one thing
feel, yeah,
about
sure.
the scene that you see the two doppelgangers of young Lucas Nyong'o's character looking at each other, the way they pace that like throughout the movie,
Hmm.
it gets progressively like you see more and more through the
Hmm.
entire movie. I don't like that. I felt like the first time you see that, she sees the back of the girl's of her doppelganger's
Yo,
head,
that was
and she
so
goes,
disturbing.
and then
Yeah,
they cut to the titles and
yeah,
like
yeah.
and I was like, that is awful. Like I was
I
like,
thought it was okay, to be honest. Like,
'cause-
kind of cheesy, but I
but
liked it.
it would have been okay. I feel like I okay. Do I, the audience member, know that that's her doppelganger? Yes. Would
Mhm.
I have liked to see the doppelganger turn around and then she make that face? Yes. And like that would have been also cheesy. However, I think it would have been more
Yeah,
warranted
I think
for
this. Yeah.
like, but the way they pace that scene, like, so they'll show more of just them like looking at each other, and then I think they go like they're looking at each other again, and then finally at the very end of the movie, you get to the point where the first like the doppelganger chokes the
Mhm.
real one,
And that's why the real one talks like this.
which just makes zero sense because I've seen people get choked before and they don't talk that way after they get choked. Like I've seen someone be like, "Did I just pass out?" And they were like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, weird." You know,
Weird.
like just they talk completely. Their voice is not restricted. Like I don't know why
Stop questioning the
it
logic.
doesn't make any
It
sense.
doesn't make
It doesn't
sense.
make
That's
any
the
sense.
point.
And like it's too much. Like I think it would have been creepier if she talked exactly like Lupita Nyong'o.
Oh yeah.
Like way creepy because they go for this whole voice and the voice doesn't like it's creepy,
Yeah.
but it's like it would have been just weird to see her just talking like
Just like her.
yeah
Yeah.
like
And like that would have been a cool plot device, I think,
yeah
because it's like, hey, Jason, come over here, and surprise, like around the corner is
yeah
the doppelganger.
no
Well, not well. It turns out that she's the
yeah,
well, but she's not her mother. His mother.
but she sounds like her and they
Exactly.
don't do that. They
Yeah,
don't
it would have been a cool opportunity, but they decided to, well, because they wanted to mislead you. Like this whole, like the whole twist, like they.
honestly I think it made the impact more because you
Oh,
realize how she
definitely.
talks
Yeah,
like 'cause
yeah,
she was a little kid who knew how to like who's who
yeah, yeah,
learned how
yeah.
to talk, went down there, still
And
knew how to
still
talk,
talks.
and like this girl learned how, like to me it was just weird that they have that and they don't use it as a
Mhm.
plot, like that could have been very scary like
Oh yeah.
and we never get that and
I
I
feel
don't know.
like the more we were shown about the doppelgangers, their origins and motivations,
Yeah.
like I don't know, I would have. You know those movies where like you almost have to watch like a YouTube video, like let me explain
Oh
how
no,
the
I
entire.
did, and was
Oh, you
still
did?
slightly confused.
Uh, I
Yeah.
I don't feel I needed an explanation for this movie. I thought it was
I
pretty crystal clear.
I needed an explanation for the like holding hands thing, hands across America. Like
Hmm.
I
It's just
s-
a statement, like just to say, hey, we're here, we're alive, we're also human. We kill, but we're human just like you.
it's to me
Where
that's
was
the
the
statement. Just
police?
stop killing people. Like I the whole thing I come back to is like it would have been I think as impactful as a statement to just come out and be like you could
Pacifists,
see like
but they're kind of savages, you know.
no I know but like you okay imagine a scenario where the movie is about these millions of tethered across America. It's like CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC are all covering them. Like you see like they're just filming them. And like somebody realizes, "Oh my god, that's me." And
Hmm.
then they go find their tethered person. And then that's like they bring them home. You know, or
Hmm.
like they try to like make them whatever. And then they start killing them from there. Like that could have been an interesting like way to like sort
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like but again and then like the whole like plan would be like oh your person would have to come see you and then they'd have to come find you and then they'd have to come bring you to their home and then you could kill them, you know, like
Yeah.
it's just a super elaborate plan but like you don't get any of that and I think I don't know why like they're here so what they're all gonna die like they're
Oh
all
yeah.
gonna get killed because they just killed everybody so like
They're,
nobody
they're not. They're not. I mean, they say we're Americans, but hey, where's your
where's your
passport?
social huh
I mean, they were born. in American land, unless the underground doesn't count as
I
American
want to know
land.
if like Mexico or Canada has any of this. Like,
I don't think so,
I,
because I'm pretty sure it's hinted that it's a government experiment. I'm positive.
we don't know if it's the government.
Ah,
I'm pretty sure, but like, I don't know. The whole thing is just it's such a weird, like, just it's a. That's the reason why like I know it's a statement, but I feel like it means something. Like it's like a symbol or symbolic to something else.
well,
But I
the
don't know what the symbol. Like, do you know? Do you have an idea of what it means?
1111. I don't know.
That was the whole
That's
thing.
just a palindrome.
Well, like the video I saw was about duality, and apparently, like
Oh
the
yeah.
verse Jeremiah 11:11 has
Uh-huh.
something to do with like seeing like the I don't remember. I saw a video about it, and like it was I think it has to do with like the people who haven't been seen or something will come up from
From
whatever.
underground.
Or I don't.
Oh,
It was some. It's some.
it was yeah.
It's
Well,
very. You know.
subtlety. I don't think it's Jordan Peele's forte.
When
I
nobody
mean,
has a Bible in a movie theater and just be like, oh,
oh,
let
let
me
me look
check
it up.
Jeremiah 11:11. You know.
Well, you have a phone and you can look it up.
Who's gonna be that guy? Who's gonna like,
A lot of
hey
people are gonna
guys,
be that guy.
hey guys, I know what it means.
Jeremiah 11:11.
Shut up. I don't
But
know.
yeah, like subtlety, I don't think it's his forte. Like I think he's really like he has a loud voice in the sense of style
Yeah,
and what he wants audiences to get
yeah,
across, like what he wants to get across his audience. But I much prefer that over like a mediocre director with no voice at all. It's just the blandest
yeah,
product possible. Like at least even if I'm complaining about the logic of this movie or different elements that I particularly didn't
yeah.
like at least its style. It's unlike anything else that's out there. So I'm happy I saw it. Honestly,
Can I be
yeah,
like
yeah.
completely
Go,
honest with
go,
you
go, go.
about like
Be real, bro.
so when I saw the trailers for this movie, I never ever expected that there would be more tethered than her family. I thought it was gonna
Neither
kind
did
of
I.
be like like personal like story, and I think there was like I feel like the attempt to make it grander in scale like across all America it doesn't make it more scary for me. I think if they kept it smaller, like Get Out is a relatively small
Yeah.
movie. Like it's not about like the whole US, you know, like there's no hint of that. It's just like you know like there's like been a lot of this that's happened because you see the pictures that the girl has of all the boyfriends she's brought over. But for this movie like there's like CNN or whatever like the news and you see like them like videos of all these people and holding hands or whatever. Like I think this movie could have been way more scary if it was just her family coming after her family. And I think like I thought it was gonna be something like supernatural. Of being perfectly honest, like I didn't realize that
that would have made more sense, low key.
because I would have just believed it. I mean, like
Yeah.
we were born as your
Yeah.
shadow, you know, like as just like,
Okay, if
and
you're
that's
being
what I was
honest.
expecting,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then that's not what I got, and to me that's part of the reason why I was like I don't know why he went that way, like because it's not scary to me like seeing all these people hold hands. The scary thing about that is that oh these people have just scissors and they can just come and stab you if they feel like it. Like that's the scary thing. Like
Yeah, but you can just shoot them. I'm
I
pretty sure they're
know
not.
there's no
I'm
guns
pretty
in this
sure
movie,
they're not holding hands across Texas. I can
dude.
guarantee you that.
No
Or
way. You know, like the original Hands Across America, I think was like six million people or something like that, and there's like huge gaps,
oh yeah, the like
there's huge
it's
gaps.
impossible to literally cross hands across America because a
The
lot
reason why
of terrain
I was hoping
reasons.
we see that they actually did it. Like there would just be
I
like
mean,
people
you're.
like in the Grand Canyon, and they'd be
I
like
mean,
up the
there's people
wall.
in the ocean holding hands. If you
But that
remember
was
that.
just the end of it.
Well, yeah.
They were just like that was sea to signing sea or whatever. So I guess I don't know where Santa Cruz is on the map, but I'm assuming it's like the very edge of California or
Hmm.
something. You know, I don't know, but
Okay, if you made a confession of I'm gonna make another confession.
confession.
I like this better than Get Out, to be honest. Like Get Out, there were a
That's a
lot of
hot
stuff.
take.
Yeah, it's a hot take, and I'm willing to say it. I feel like stylistically, this is better, and from a story structure, to me, they're both as nonsensical as each other. To me, and Get Out has the added like scary noises, sound effects that bothered me throughout the entire runtime. This one is more subdued. It's still not subtle, but it's subdued. So overall, I think I like this movie better. But I mean, granted, I wasn't the biggest fan of Get Out. This is, like I said, I'm happy to see someone with such a strong voice who has critically acclaimed and has big box office success. So
Yes.
that's encouraging, particularly because it's really a small budget movie when you
Yeah.
think about it, and like there's a lot of positives to this movie. Like honestly, I think Jordan Peele is a good director. Like there's really small moments. I don't know how much of it is like actors improvising, how much is like him actually
Yeah.
planned it.
I
Like
don't know
there's
how
this
much credit to
moment.
give him, but
There's
like
this.
it's his
Yeah.
movie. I think
It's just
he deserves a lot of
well,
credit.
yeah. Like in the sense, like I will believe. I'm not certain. This is 100% the movie that Jordan Peele wanted to make.
Yeah, he
Like,
wrote
like
it, directed it, produced
yeah, yeah,
it.
but like like I said, like I don't know how much of like some of the intercutting and like dumbing down, like spoon fed elements were his or studio notes. So, but I feel like this is something he wanted to make, and he made it, and it seems like 100% his own. I'm not
Yeah.
sure about that, so that's pretty cool. I think
I have a confession to make also.
make that confession.
This movie made me less excited for his Twilight Zone show.
Ah,
Yeah,
really?
because
I mean,
I
Twilight sounds pretty nonsensical,
but
so I
there's
think
some
he's gonna
Twilight
be a
Zone
good
stuff
fit.
that I've seen that's like it scares me, you know. Like
Uh huh.
I did see
I
when I
was
was
never
younger.
scared in this movie. We could have said that at the beginning, but I
Yeah.
guess yeah, I
It's
was
not
never
a it's
scared.
not a very I think that's part of the reason why the I think I like in the like the marketing, you know.
Yeah.
This is not that kind of movie. It's not super scary, it's not super terrifying. It's just it's a good movie if you don't think about it at all. Like and that's it's so
But you
hard.
also have to think about it. Like I
I
feel
just
like if you don't think about it at all,
I don't
you're
like
not
thinking
gonna have
about
a
it
good
because I
time.
don't like it when I think about it. And when if I based on my second viewing, I told you in the car, I have never had a movie where I watched it a second time and I liked it
Hmm.
from like not liking it at all.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real credit to Jordan Peele as a filmmaker. Um, like
Give us a job.
I mean, I didn't like it and then I did and I'm like wow. I mean I guess he got me. Like
He
the
got me good.
He did. There's a lot of this movie that I don't like, and honestly, there's more that I don't like. I think than I do like,
But
but I think it.
but
I
that's only
still
if you
liked it.
think about it. Like
Yeah,
if you don't think about it, there's more to
yeah,
like than dislike. So, eh,
yes, but
yes.
it's just too hard to separate. For
Oh
me, I
yeah.
think it's too hard to
So
separate the logic from the story.
that's where the hard question comes in. Who would you recommend this to? Like it's such a tricky question because
Oh my
like it's
god.
gonna like would you recommend it to like dumb friends who don't think while they watch movies, or like who don't
Yes.
care about like specifics or logic, like
If you don't
maybe my
care
guess.
about like,
I
if
mean,
you're
if you
like,
like Get Out, you're probably gonna go watch this regardless. But if
yeah,
you watch Get Out, liked it, and I don't know, for some
I
reason
think
you
if
don't
you
know who
didn't
Jordan
like
Peele
Get
is.
Out, I
What?
think if you didn't like Get Out, I recommend you watch this.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, that was my case. I didn't
yeah.
like Get Out. I like this.
See, I like
Some
Get
elements
Out
of it.
a lot. Like, I really like Get Out. Like, I saw it at an early screening at my school, and it was the crowd, like the audience was incredible. Like, it was just the atmosphere. Everybody was intense. Everyone was scared. There's people going, ooh, like you know, like people were so into it, and I was like, wow, I'm so into this. And I was like, maybe like months later after it came out in theater and had and gone, and like even after the Oscars, whenever it got like a couple Oscars or
Well, you
Jordan
got,
Peele won.
I think, yeah, just best original screenplay.
Like I saw it with my mom. I rented it and I was like, yeah, this movie's still amazing. Like I really liked that movie a lot. And for me, I felt another confession. I never thought this movie was gonna live up to Get Out. I feel even like having like even commercially, I don't think this movie will do that well because Get Out was like 5.6 million or 5 million even or whatever, and it made like 750 million. I think
We'll have to
only
wait.
I don't know
I don't know how
because
much Get Out made on its first weekend, and like,
I
oh
think
well,
it made like 100 and like 30 or something like that,
yeah,
180.
but
It
yeah,
made a lot like I don't know. Get Out was just kind of a movie I think that had so
but I
much
think,
hype behind
yeah,
like
yeah,
but it wasn't like critical hype. It was word of mouth. I
uh
felt
huh.
like before like the people who saw it, I think they had a really smart like marketing campaign for that and that
Well,
they
yeah,
showed it like
BuzzFeed,
all
like
around the world
it
or all around
just,
the US like
yeah,
just before it came out but in small areas and only like limited screenings, but they did a really good job doing that, I think, because doing that got everybody else around hyped because it was a good enough movie. It was really good. So
Too
like,
bad the trailer gave away everything.
okay, yeah, there was a lot of stuff in the
Yeah, so
trailer.
the marketing was not perfect.
There's stuff in this trailer for this movie. Like the little girl chokes the little girl in that movie in the trailer, like, and
And
that's a big part of
but
the
I mean, you
movie.
you never see any other doppelganger. So I thought the marketing for this movie was okay.
That was a twist for me. Like
Yeah, yeah,
seeing the other
yeah, yeah,
doppelgangers,
yeah.
I was like,
But like
oh.
good, but also I don't know how good you call this marketing if well, I don't know how
I
many
think it's bad
seats.
marketing because it's not the movie that they're saying it is. It's
Maybe.
still a good movie if you
Uh,
don't think about it.
I'd say this is a tricky one. Like, check it out. If you don't like it, I'm not surprised. If you
Yeah.
love it, I'm not surprised either. Like, this is probably gonna be a kind of polarizing when it comes to audience members. You know, like critics are gonna love this.
Critics, I feel like, are too into this movie. I think people are always they're throwing around the word masterpiece a lot, and I'm just
I don't
like,
think it's a masterpiece.
no, me neither. Like, and I'm trying to think like of a movie that I would regard as a masterpiece. Like,
Whiplash.
oh my god, I love Whiplash. Yeah, yeah, I love Whiplash. I think Whiplash has the best 10 minutes in any movie of all time, and that's like the last 10 minutes of the movie. Like, oh my god, the first time I saw that, I was like completely.
Roma's a
I was quiet. I was
yeah.
blown away.
Roma's a masterpiece. I consider it.
You know what? I'll agree. I don't even like that movie, but like I know it has a vision and it's consistent and it's well made and the acting is great.
You were
and-
crying.
Shut
What are you
up,
talking
okay?
about?
I cried.
I
Okay,
didn't like it, but I cried.
there was a really sad scene, and that scene is a masterpiece. Like I'll give it that. I think the
Okay.
movie is about as well made as you could make a movie. Blade
Yeah.
Runner 2049, I feel like is also close to a masterpiece for me. It's very close to perfect movie.
Stop.
I love it.
If you think about it, just like you're thinking about this movie,
No,
maybe
no,
even deeper,
no.
it falls apart.
No,
I can
it-
guarantee you
no, it
that
doesn't.
2049
It
doesn't
doesn't
make
fall
sense.
apart as hard as it. Like
Well, not as hard as
there's
this
not
one.
there's not enough logic in that movie that doesn't make sense. This
Oh, there's
movie,
plenty. There's a lot.
we can talk about it later. But I love that movie, and screw you or whatever. It's fine.
Okay, okay.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah,
But
whatever.
okay,
Lucas. I'm sorry. Sorry.
it's
I
fine.
didn't mean to upset you.
I think we had a good episode.
Did I upset you?
Any final thoughts?
I mean, really excited for Shazam.
Okay. I heard it's good. Hopefully it is.
I've heard.
Otherwise, the DCU has no hope.
I've heard
in
it's
surviving.
amazing, and if I am not amazed, you will know. Okay.
You
I-
will know.
Need to be amazed. I mean, I'm sure it's good, but whatever. All right, guys. Well, I guess that's it for our thoughts and prayers episode of Us 2019, the movie.
Although 2019 is not part of the title,
Nope,
but it's just
but
like
I-
if you Google us,
Dude,
like
even
half the
Us
time it's just
2019.
United States.
I googled Us 2019 budget, and I got the U.S. budget. I'm not even kidding. Like, I had to put Us movie 2019 budget, and I was like, God, Google. Sometimes I feel like Google's like, oh, we're getting smarter. We're knowing what you're
No.
talking about, like when you type it.
Google is as smart as the logic of this movie.
I was okay. Google. I was just googling Us, and then I Google Us 2019 budget. What do you think I want, Google? That was a side tangent. All right, guys, that's it for this week. We'll catch you next Tuesday for our regular Concessions and Confessions podcast. But other than that,